What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, brought to you today by the Russell Street Report, sponsored by DNL Tinting. Go check them out, dltinting.com, for all your window tinting, headlight restoration, and car detailing needs. dltinting.com. We are going to be talking today about STROUD and what I think is going to be a little bit of the blueprint for Mike Macdonald and the Baltimore Ravens defense. Now, really looking forward to this one. It's playoff week, folks. We're ready for some playoff football. If you guys are fired up, hit that like button. If you're excited about this content, if you're looking forward to more breakdowns coming out before the game, after the game, hit that subscribe button. You know I got you. And so what we're going to do basically is take a look at how the Houston Texans dismantled a top defense in the Cleveland Browns and really show what they did, what I think the Ravens can do, and talk about a little bit at the end of the video. There'll be a bit of a recap talking about the Dolphins game and some of the things they did in that game and how I think it applies to this. And I want to preface this really quickly before I start the film. None of this, I'm going to talk a lot about the Cleveland secondary and some poor choices. I don't want this to be misconstrued. I don't want my words taken out of context. None of this mitigates what a good game CJ Stroud had. So I want that flatly out there. Not saying anything negative about CJ Stroud. Really like him as a quarterback. He threw some dots in this game, but we are going to take a look at some of the mistakes that the Cleveland Browns made in this game and where I think the Ravens can learn from that. So we're going to be talking a lot about number 12, Nico Collins. News broke yesterday, Noah Brown out for, he's on IR, so he won't be playing in this game. So they're limited in options. You know, they're down to Nico Collins, John Mechie as their top wide receivers. Shout out John Mechie, Canadian. And Dalton Schultz and Brevin Jordan, who made a big play in this game. So want to take a look at some of the things the Browns defense did in this game. Really focusing on Collins because I think that's the key, right? I don't think the run game's anything too crazy, but Nico Collins is kind of the key here. So we're going to start. They're going to motion Collins outside, and then they're just going to basically run a slant and go. And, you know, wide open there, almost falls into the end zone. So this is what I was curious about seeing is, okay, how does this happen? So we see him nice release off the line here. You're going to get a soft shoe release from the corner where he's going to kind of, step up in that press man coverage, but then come immediately off. And he's going to break on that slant route, and then he just gets cooked, right? So this is just Nico Collins showing that explosiveness, planting that foot. And so I was wondering what in the world happened to the safety. So the safety's going to basically suck up. They're playing a bracket here. So, he's playing trail technique. You got the safety over top, leaves the man over here on an island, and he just gets cooked. So, and you got the safety here following. So this is going to be a common theme. This could have been very much in their coverage. It looks like they were rolling the safety over, playing essentially cover one. They got the other safety stepping up here. So I'm not necessarily saying this is the safety's fault. This is really on the corner to me. I think that's Denzel Ward too. If your safety's rolling to the other side of the field, you can't let this happen, right? You got to play over top against Collins, and if he catches a slant route there, you just make the tackle and you live with that because you can't let something like this happen. So the funny thing was, if you take a look at CJ Stroud, he's looking the other way. His first read was over here, so he doesn't even see Collins immediately break. It's not until he gets to his second read, you see him step, turn his head left, and then boom, deliver that while getting hit. Hell of a throw. So it's just an interesting one there. This to me is just, again, Collins cooks him. So I'm not saying it's just a bad play by the corner, but poor decision making by the corner is what I'll call it. So this is stuff that, we haven't really seen out of the Ravens defense this year. They've played very conservatively in terms of keeping the man in front of them. It's rare that we kind of look back over the 17 games and are like, wow, we were getting cooked over the top, right? So here we get into another one. This is going to be the missed throw. And this one's just poor safety play. Again, something that I really don't feel like we're going to see a lot of from the Ravens. So not a whole lot here from Nico Collins. He's just running a 9 route. Nothing creative, nothing really that spectacular. But what's going to happen is you're going to get a crossing route here, and the safety steps up on it. So as the crossing route breaks, you see he's passing off the coverage. It looks like they're in cover 4 here, cover 4, cover 6. They might be in quarter, half, but either way, this safety's got to carry him, right? This corner obviously has, I think this is quarter half because you have maybe cover 4. Anyway, doesn't matter. Either way, this safety's got the deep hook, but as you see number 2 start to break here, instead of carrying this, he steps up. So you watch that right foot right there. As he does that, creates it wide open. Now, doesn't make the catch here. A little bit of an overthrow as he was getting pressured. Or no, he wasn't getting pressured on that throw. That's just a missed throw. Surprising. Don't see that too often from Stroud, but this is what I kind of meant by at the start. Like, this isn't anything too crazy. This is just poor safety play. Again, stuff like this you're just not seeing from the Ravens this year. So, key to me is really doing what they did against the Dolphins and respecting the speed, respecting that they're going to get deep on you, and making sure that you keep the ball in front of you. Now, showing here a way they get Nico Collins open. They love this boot play. This is something to keep an eye on. They're a zone running team, so they're going to fake that outside zone, get the whole line moving that way, and then they're just going to drag Collins under here, get him the ball out in space. So this is something that I find really interesting, and I love the way JOK played the backside here. He gets right out at Stroud, makes him throw a tough ball there. But Collins just has that speed. So, I mean, this is the key here to me, is you cannot let him just get out in the open field. And so this is something where, someone is wondering what's happening here. The Browns are playing a little bit of man coverage in this one. You see the corner chasing him across the field. Ravens play a lot of zone. I think that's going to play well into that matchup. Get another one here. Now, the reason I threw this one, and this is just a slant, this is how I think the Ravens are going to play it. If you guys think back to that Dolphins game, early in that game, they caught a lot over the middle. And so you see here, they got a deep safety back here. But the corner versus, think of how he played this versus the slant and go that we looked at first. He's just going to play this loose, keep him in front of him, let him kind of, run that ball inside. Catch right there, come up and make the tackle. You're giving up a first. Obviously, you don't want to give up anything if you don't have to. But this is the type of plays that the Ravens defense has given up all year, and they've lived with it. They've basically said, play underneath us. We'll eventually make some plays on the ball. And what they're not doing here is you got two linebackers on this, so you got no linebacker hook cover there. So that's kind of what happened there. Again, they're playing man, so I mean, he just doesn't get enough depth here. He's kind of staying up. He might be in a spy. I don't know. But that's something where I think you get an advantage from Rowe and Queen and their athleticism in space. So all that to say is I think that's kind of what I see as the blueprint, is really making sure cover 3, cover 4, cover 6 defense, keep the ball in front of you, and use the red zone when you get down into your half of the field. Let that condense what they're able to do. If they're not going to be able to run the ball on you very well, now I'm going to show you kind of these plays because I love the way the Texans sequence some plays together. So here we're going to see a toss. Just a basic toss, goes for a good gain. This is early in this drive. You can see they're on their own 20. Singletary goes for a good run here. Not a whole lot special here. They're basically just they're trying to fake that end around, get the linebacker sucked up to Stroud, and then just pitch it out. And so this is super important because this is how they score on this drive. So this is later. They're going to fake a toss right there, get the whole defense flowing, and turns out to be a screen to Collins, and you just get those big boys out in front. So just the way they've sequenced some plays when I've been watching them has been really impressive. So, what do I want you guys to take away from this video? That's the real question. If you go back to my video, and I'll link it, when they played the Dolphins, kept the ball in front of them, gave up some, they were giving up yards early in that game, letting them drive on you until those linebackers started getting a little bit more depth. I think that's exactly what Mike Macdonald's going to do. I don't think he's going to overreact. I think he's going to basically go out and play a similar game plan where, we're going to keep the ball in front of us. We're going to go down into the red zone. We're going to condense. You're going to have to kick over 3, or we're going to be able to force turnovers or force you to make mistakes. They are not going to let essentially what happened in this game where the Texans are pushing the ball downfield. That just hasn't happened against the Ravens this year. This defense has been one of the best at, they'll give up yards, sure. That's fine. I think they're still top 5 in yards, but they're not giving up those big plays, those big explosive plays. They're letting you kind of have to beat them by death by 1,000 paper cuts type game. So go check out that Dolphins video. You'll kind of see what I mean in terms of what they can do. But this is really what I see from this, and I've been very impressed with CJ Stroud. So no lack of credit there to him, but with Nico Collins being, the big threat, them losing a guy like Noah Brown, who was kind of a secondary weapon throughout the year. They're just getting really limited in options. So I really like the way this matches up for the Ravens defense. I think it plays into their strength. CJ Stroud, one of the quickest at getting the ball out, so I'm not expecting a whole lot from the pass rush until they can kind of, jump on some of these coverages and force him to hold the ball. I expect them to get the ball out. I think they're going to get yards. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit. But I just don't think they're going to be able to convert in the red zone. I think they have too much of a lack of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. But would love to hear from you guys. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this game plan? Is it similar to the Dolphins? Am I crazy? I always love to hear from you guys. Hit that like button if you like this breakdown, and click subscribe if you're new here. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out.